You know guys, I'm going to start today's video off a little bit differently than how I usually start my videos. I'm going to start this off by saying that, you know what, as of today on Tuesday, after my last two videos about skill-based matchmaking and the anti-cheat, I'm proud to tell you guys that honestly, I've been enjoying Black Ops 7 just a little bit more because of reduced SBMM and the fact that I can see, at least, that some measures are being taken against cheaters in a way that we haven't really seen in a couple of years. You see guys, I'd like to start this off by being positive because I'd like for these moronic gooch-looking short bus riding baboons to see that there is some positivity to be had with Black Ops 7. Now with all that being said, unfortunately when you look at the numbers, when you really break it down, Black Ops 7 is fucking dead already. And we're gonna get into all of that right now, but before we do guys, I'm gonna need you to lasso the fucking like button with that scrote immediately. And subscribe if you're new guys. We're on the way to 70k. Down in the comments below, hashtag F7. And without further ado, let's just start this out with the basics, alright? Before the Black Ops 7 beta came out, just weeks ago when the Battlefield 6 beta was out, let me just remind you guys that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is one of the first Call of Duty games to not top the PS5 pre-order charts days after announcement. 3 days after the reveal, the Vault Edition pre-order has currently peaked only at number 8 behind both editions of Battlefield 6. The reason I'm bringing this up even a few days after the beta launched is because when you still take a look at it, Battlefield 6 is still ahead of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And I'm not trying to make this Battlefield 6 versus Black Ops 7, at least not in this video. We've done that enough. We'll do it a bunch more when that game finally launches in a couple of days and saves us from this fucking dog shit. But that's just basic context. Now, weeks later, now that the Black Ops 7 beta is finally out, it's time we look at some goddamn numbers, okay? When you look at day 1 of the beta on the Steam charts, and yes, I will explain to you exactly why they're relevant, so to all of you guys out there talking about, oh, you have to bring out Steam charts, they don't count. Sorry, unfortunately they do, and I'll explain how. But day 1 numbers, this is what was going on. This is a tweet that comes out from Rara. He comes out here and says, the beta on Steam has peaked at only 74,000. Battlefield in its first day of the beta had 500,000 on Steam. The excuse for multiple platforms doesn't work here when Battlefield and COD are both on multiple platforms. What makes it worse, the COD's beta numbers include people playing Warzone and Black Ops 6. I should also add that within Black Ops 6 there is a massive zombies community, so there's a ton of people that are playing this on several different platforms, but when you take a look at what you can see on Steam, which is the only verifiable evidence of any numbers that we can actually look at right now, Call of Duty is doing very, very, very bad. I can't remember the last time, at least looking at Steam charts, that Call of Duty during the beta had anything less than 100,000 day 1. Alright, so before you tell me that Steam is the lowest player count, it's okay, you know what, Stepfather Fooly does this on a regular basis. I'm here to teach, and I'm here to educate people, especially my stepchildren out there. Listen up very quickly, you goofy bitch. MW 2019 Part 2 and 3 on Steam, and Black Ops 6 on Steam, and Black Ops 7 on Steam. When you look at those 4 games during their betas, day 1, none of them have been as low as Black Ops 7. There has gradually been that decrease, especially for Black Ops 7, that is easily visible to anybody. So first of all, there is a decrease. Now, whether or not you even want to count it and regard it as, you know, something that actually matters, that's up to you. But let me just tell you right now that I'm not really interested in what the number is, and we're gonna go over some more numbers very soon, but I don't want you to hyperfixate on the number itself, especially if you're gonna give me the cope that, oh, it's the lowest player count, doesn't matter, more people have dialed it. We're not looking at the number. What we're looking at is the trend. Now, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, but I recommend a lot of you guys take a statistics course in college, a college level statistics class, before you start talking about trends, before you start talking about numbers and what matters and what doesn't, because even if Steam accounts for 1% of the player base, which it doesn't, but let's just assume 1% of the player base, please understand that when you look at a sample, even if it's not the entire population, the trend that you can gather from that sample, it will be indicative of what you see across the entire population. So, when you tell me that Steam is the lowest player count, congratulations. What you're telling me is, I can look at this number and I can see the percentage drops, and those percentage drops will correlate more or less to the exact same percentage drops or increases on any other platform, whether it be PlayStation, Xbox, Battle.net, PC, Xbox Game Pass, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry if you don't want to believe that. That's how statistics have been working for decades and centuries. You want to get mad at anybody? Go get mad at the people that invented that shit, not me. I didn't come up with it. That's just a fact of how it works. Now, if you want to tell me that Steam is 1% of the player base, then what you're telling me is, of the 74K that were playing Steam day one, that means there was 7,400,000 people day one of the beta across all platforms, if Steam is only 1%. And although that sounds like a good number, unfortunately, that is still significantly lower than a lot of the other betas that we've played in the past 4 years. But don't worry guys, it actually gets better for Call of Duty, okay? We're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because it was day one numbers and it was the closed beta, it wasn't the open beta, even though for Battlefield 6 it was also the closed beta, code only. But I don't know, I guess people just magically forget about that fact. Anyways, let's talk about what the numbers looked like after they implemented no SBMM and the beta went live and open for literally everybody, regardless if you pre-ordered the game or not, on any platform. Here's another tweet that comes out from Rara. He says, now that the open beta has gone live, the player count for Black Ops 7 has peaked at just 99,000. Less than 1/5 of Battlefield 6's beta player count, which was 500,000. Open beta versus open beta. Even after removing SBMM and including player counts for Warzone and BO6, yikes. And yikes indeed, because even I thought, and I'm being straight up with you guys, that the 74,000 day one, obviously that's low and it's pathetic as fuck. But even I assumed that when it went open for everybody, and especially after announcing that they reduced SBMM, I genuinely thought the open beta was going to peak at like, I don't know, at least like 200,000. If I'm not mistaken, those are similar numbers to what we had in BO6 and MW 2019 Part 3. But we didn't even break 100 fucking thousand, guys. And that's a problem, man. No matter which way you look at it, man. We have reduced SBMM. We have all platforms open regardless of if you have a pre-order or not. And that number only jolted up by like 20,000 people, 25,000 people. Again, you can have the cope that the Steam player count is the lowest player count of all platforms. That doesn't matter. The trend is going to be the same on any platform that you see. Between the closed beta to the open beta, there was about a 30% increase of people playing Steam. That means, more or less, there was about 30% more people playing PlayStation, Xbox, PC Game Pass, Battle.net, and any other platform you can fucking play, okay? It works both ways. I'm not just trying to depict that when it goes down for everybody, and when it goes up, it only goes up for Steam. Like, no. I'm giving you guys the fair balance here. There was a 30% increase on Steam. There was a 30% increase on PlayStation, Xbox, Battle.net, etc., etc. Now look, guys, there is an updated count here, okay? Now we're talking about Monday's numbers. We're talking past the weekend. You know, everybody keeps on telling us that Steam doesn't count for X, Y, and Z, even though it does. My favorite cope is that it only counts on the weekends. Well, we tracked it during the weekend and somehow it wasn't impressive at all. Now that the weekend has passed and I got to see Monday's numbers, guys, the number has dipped back below what the day one numbers were during the closed beta, except we're in the open beta right now. Guys, the 24-hour peak on Monday was literally 72 fucking thousand. All right, almost 73,000.
That's a new Special Olympics record, folks!
And I get it, man. A lot of us have lives on a fucking Monday and a Tuesday. I get it. But these people had lives on Mondays and Tuesdays during MW 2019 Part 2, 3, and BO6, man. And those numbers were significantly greater. You simply can't look at this and think that it's normal, or think that it's not a concern, or think that for whatever ungodly fucking reason, it doesn't count. Clearly, it counts. And it counts so much so that Treyarch and Activision are aware of the low pre-order numbers, of the low player counts across all platforms, that it forced their hand to reduce SBMM. It forced their hand to actually work on the anti-cheat. It's forcing their hand to have actual concrete fixes during the beta. They are constantly updating this beta day after day, listening to everybody's feedback because they're desperate to, because the game is already fucking dead. I'm not saying it's a terrible game, even though I already said that like a million fucking times, because let's be honest, even though I can find some positives in here, overall, it's still a dog shit game. It shouldn't have ever existed. But regardless of that, I can say this is a top 3 Call of Duty of all time. It doesn't change the fucking fact that the player counts are so goddamn low that in comparison to the other Call of Duty games, especially in the Steam era, one can conclude that the game is already dropping off, it's already dying, it's not doing as hot as other games have previously, even with the exact same set of circumstances. It's just not doing that good. Before you want to tell me, oh, nobody plays Steam, everybody's on Battle.net. Okay, 2 things for you. Number 1, if I'm not mistaken, Steam is like the biggest platform that you can possibly play on for PC games on the fucking planet. If you want to give me the argument that on Battle.net it plays better, I'm sorry, but maybe you should try some of these recent Call of Duties, because I have on Steam and they run perfectly goddamn fine. My frame rate is as high as ever, my FPS is fine, my connectivity is fine. I don't feel any difference between Steam and Xbox and PC Game Pass, and I would assume it's the same for fucking Battle.net. If I'm wrong, show me the proof, show me the differences between Steam performance on your GPU, on your FPS, etc. versus on Battle.net. Furthermore, can you please provide me the player counts on Battle.net? Can you do that? No? Probably fucking not, right? Okay, so your argument holds no weight. Unfortunately, whether you disagree with what I'm saying, maybe you don't want to see it this way. Unfortunately, these numbers that I'm providing you are not only fact, but they're backed up by actual statistics that you can look at for yourself at any goddamn time. You can find the evidence yourself. I have evidence to back up what I'm saying. Unfortunately, you don't. You want a little bit more proof? Here you go, guys. How many times have you heard before during the beta of any of these games, regardless if Steam was there or not, that it was the highest played beta of all time, the biggest player count in a beta of all time, the most hours played of all time, and so far, after like 5 days of this shit ass beta, unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen this tweet come out yet. I haven't seen them flaunt their numbers because maybe, just maybe, their numbers aren't that good. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. What are your thoughts on the Black Ops 7 beta and its performance, where you can actually see the evidence and concrete numbers? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.
This ain't in my body.